Hello and good evening. We're pretending it's evening. This is the hypocritical after hours lounge, where we forego our normal structured format and bring you some subjects we just didn't have time for or felt were maybe a little too hot to handle. So welcome to the hypocritical after hours lounge with Dave MKE MoKE and Alexa MKE. I didn't put the O in that time. How you doing, Alexa?
I'm doing good. You know, we should have both drinks since it's, fruity drinks with umbrellas in them since we're doing after hours. What do you think?
That's right. Mai
Yeah.
Tai. One of Mai Tai.
Ooh, I like Mai Tais.
One of these.
I don't drink very often though, so I'd probably be just fine with some fruit juice with a flower and a little umbrella and a little strawberry or something in it.
sober for 7 years. So
Awesome. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. Fantastic.
Fantastic. There you go.
Fantastic. All right. So this is my pet peeve. It's actually one of my husband's pet peeves as well. So we own sports cars. We own some pretty cool cars. All of our cars have 2 doors. Only one of our cars has a back seat. So I get really annoyed when you're watching commercials and you see them call something a sports coupe or a sports truck. What kind of car do you own, Dave? Do you own just like a sedan or?
Yes, I have a Toyota Corolla sedan.
Okay, Toyota Corolla, fantastic car, very reliable, great for what it's meant for. But would you call your Toyota Corolla, if it were the sporty version with 2 doors, a sports car?
No, I would not. They're pretend sports cars. I mean, even when the 2-door, didn't they have the Camry for a long time? The Solara.
The Solara.
SC Sport Coupe. Whenever they do that, they always put an SC on there.
That's what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about sports cars versus sports coupes versus sports sedans. First of all, I don't care what you drive. If you're driving a BMW and it's a sedan and it has 4 doors, it's not a sports car. I don't care what engine it has into it. I don't care what modifications you've done to it. That technically turns into a tuner car then. It is not a sports car. Sports cars are cars that are sports driven. They are derived from sporting, which is racing. So I have had RX-7s.
IROC? Like the IROC?
Well, no, because it depends. Because is it a sports coupe or a sports car? A sports car should not have a back seat. You don't put anybody in the back seat. 2 people, that's it. And there's difference between sports cars. You have a coupe or coupe, and you can have a roadster. The roadster is you put the top down. A Porsche Boxster. You can do that with, there's other cars like a Corvette. But does a Corvette have a back seat? I don't even know if the Corvette has a back seat. If it has a back seat, then it's a sports coupe. It does not. Then it is a sports car.
But play things like the Eclipse or like the GT3000.
Those are sports coupes.
Did for insurance purposes, though, right?
They are sports coupes. And then we get into the insurance purposes. So for everybody out there, you don't have a sports car unless it has 2 doors and no back seat. So we have an Opel GT, a vintage one. It's a sports car. It has no back seat. It has 2 doors. I have 350Zs, 2 doors, no back seat. These are not grocery getters, although sometimes we'll get groceries in them. I had an awesome Mazda MX-6. It was touted as a sports coupe, and even though it had 2 doors and a back seat, I still wouldn't call it a sports coupe because it wasn't sporty. It didn't have any go. You can call it a sports coupe if you want. I even had the LS model with the bigger engine. It wasn't a sports coupe. It had no performance advantage. I have a Mustang. It's an older one. It has 2 doors and a back seat and a V6 and an automatic. That may be called a sports coupe, but there's no way that car is sporty. And it's basically our car if we go down somewhere, we don't care if our doors get dinged. So for everybody out there, if you're driving something, there is no such thing as a sports truck. There is no such thing as a sports sedan. There is no such thing as a sports coupe unless it is for sporting. So, there are cars that will go rallying. You can call a WRX a sports coupe because it is meant for sporting. So to me, please, please, please don't call something a sports car if it's not a sports car. So
Well, even like the Evos, or when they do something like that, and you know, it's not.
well, actually, the Evo, I'm going to make, I think some of the Evos have 4 doors. I am going to make an exception for that because they do rally the Evo, so you can call that a sports sedan, I guess. So I will make an exception for that, but you have to have a car that was built purposely for sport. And if it wasn't built purposely for sport.
But when you watch like Too Fast, Too Furious, you go like, that's not a sports car. What are they doing with it? No, that shouldn't be in there.
Well, a lot of the sports cars in like the Fast and Furious, those are tuner cars. And some of them were built as sports cars, like the RX-8, they raced those. RX-7s raced. 350Zs, they drift. Some of these cars you autocross. Even my MX-6 in the day was considered a great autocross car. So yeah, if some of them are built for that, we'll make an exception. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, just because you throw a TRD sticker on the back of your truck, which is the Toyota Racing Division, so we call those the turds. And I love Toyota, so that's just what we call it. It's just our little funny thing. But just because you have a TRD or an IROC or you know an official pace car thing on it doesn't make your car a sports car. What makes your car a sports car is its sporting heritage. And there are a lot of cars that have sporting heritage: Jaguar, Porsche, Mercedes. But even in Mercedes, if you're driving the sedan around, it's not a sports car. If you're driving the AMG version, the McLaren, yeah, that's a sports car.
I'll give you that.
So there you go. Anything to add? Because you sold cars.
Right. And unfortunately, I'm a guy who sold cars that really didn't have a hard-on for cars. So, you know, I mean, it's like when it comes to those things and people come in, I take a look at it, it's cool. It's like if someone says, if you had $200,000, what car would you buy? You know, and I go, oh, I don't know, nice Prius, or, you know, I don't know, maybe like an old Lincoln. Maybe I'd have like one of those big old boats or something. You know, I'm not like, woo, I'd be looking at a Porsche Cayenne. You know, I don't do any of that, you know. Well, although I do like Mercedes. I mean, when I see a nice MB, that's a beautiful car. I will say that. And a Jag, an old Jag, when you get the long ones with the XJs and the big.
Oh my God, the XKE.
You know, yeah.
60s XKEs.
Cars. I enjoy pretty cars. I go to car shows. I can enjoy the pretty cars. But I like to see an AMC Pacer in great condition. I like to see the Gremlin. I've seen those.
Fun fact about the Gremlin. I had a Gremlin X. 304, had no weight in the back. That thing would loop around real easy, but it was also a sleeper car because everybody'd have their souped up, their Camaros and their, Javelins and stuff. And I could beat them off the line.
Right. Remember that 4-wheel drive Eagle that they had for a while? Jeep, the car.
My
ate in it, didn't it? Like
my friend had one of those, and she loved that thing, that AMC Eagle. That was the best car ever for her. It did a lot of things. And here's the thing. I don't hate cars. In fact, I love cars. But what I want people to do is think about their cars in a way of how they use them. I mean, I would never call, Subaru wagon, a sports car, but that's a damn good utility vehicle. And I wish they would bring back station wagons, because station wagons are awesome.
A lot of great old. There's a Honda, and Toyota had good station wagons.
Oh, the Toyota Camry wagon.
Yeah, the GM Buick Century Sierra wagons.
There you go.
The ones were awesome.
So yeah, you just said awesome. They were fantastic.
I had a Ford. Taurus wagon, one of the green ones before they went to the real cigar.
The Jelly Bean.
They went to that. I had the one before that. What was that? 80 whatever. That I had. So it had the third back seat. So when my kids were in the back, they could see the people out to drive that way.
Those are great cars.
Everybody rides.
If you love cars, there's a car out there for everybody. And I've raced motorcycles and I ride motorcycles. I have the same thing about motorcycles. And this is, you talk about the hater thing. I don't care what you drive, as long as you love it and it fits your needs. That's awesome. And same thing with motorcycles. If you're a Harley person and you love your Harley, you got to ride it. I don't. I'm glad you like it. I'm a sport bike girl. I love sport bikes. A lot of people are getting into dual sports. All of that. Those are really cool. But at the end of the day, love your car, love what you drive, love what you ride, and but don't call it a sports car if it's not a sports car, because you know, you gotta be able to take it on the track and really be able to hear it out.
It's just a wannabe. You're just a wannabe.
Yeah, don't put stickers on it and call it a sports car because it's not. And tuner cars are different than sports cars, and tuner cars are really great cars too. And I love the fact that people are taking cars now and customizing them. So
And they never get their money out of them. So don't ever try to do it. It's a love of life, a love of what it is.
it's
a
a
hobby.
passion. It has nothing to do with getting the money out of it. It's a passion. They're making it their own, and that's cool because we've done that
And you can
too.
usually always have your passion until you get married or your first kid, and then that's when your new wife tells you it's time to maybe sell that thing, you know, and lose the $40,000.
Well, I'm unavailable, but unless you get married to somebody like me who's bought my husband brand new motorcycles and
You
told him,
have
you
to
know, hey, that's fine. That's the car you love. Let's buy it.
Yeah.
You know, so yep.
Well, good,
But yeah,
good.
so yeah, sports cars are sports cars, sports coupes are that's a gray area. Everything else, not sports. Yeah. So there's my rant, everybody. You can disagree with me or agree with me. Post on our Facebook page. I'll probably post up a picture of our cars because our whole family has 350Zs and we love them. And I've got a really cool picture that we took recently. And Dave, anything you need to add, or are we going to be done?
Good, we're good. You have a
All
great
right.
rest of your day, everybody. Hope
Yep.
you're watching this in the morning or
Peace
night, doesn't
out.
matter. All right, spade and neuter your dogs, bad robot, and high five to Milwaukee.
Bye, everybody.